Hello and welcome to Crimes of the Heart Tarot. I'm Miss Vicki, and I'm going to use the tarot to see if we can gain more insight into unsolved mysteries, deaths, and disappearances. Let's get started.
Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I want to do a reading. It's going to be a dark reading about Salvador Ramos, or Ramos, I guess it is. He is the 18-year-old who killed 19 children and 2 adults May of 2022 at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. It's a really dark reading. I'm going to use the Diablo, the Sanctuary deck. This has very dark images. I don't use this very much, but this is such a dark situation, such a terrible situation. I thought maybe we could shine some light on why this happened. Why would someone do this? Not as an excuse, but maybe as a reason to understand some of this. Before he went to the school, apparently his grandmother and grandfather were his guardians. He lived with them. I don't know what his situation with his parents were. I don't know if they were around at all. And apparently he had a good relationship with his grandma. His grandparents were very loving to take him in. Before he did this terrible crime, the morning of it, he left the house. He shot his grandmother in the face. She did survive. She is recovering and going under reconstructive surgery. He took a car, I don't know if it was his car or his grandparents' car, and crashed it. He drove away wildly, crashed close to the school, the Robb Elementary, which was his school. Went into the school, and he had purchased 2 assault rifles and some ammunition legally. I guess right at his birthday, I'm not sure when that was. But he went into the schoolrooms, and apparently started shooting people. Now, the police did arrive pretty timely. And also he had been on social media just before he did this. He stated what he was going to do, and he had been on social media a lot. I'm not sure which ones, but he also had been bullied, was a loner. It's kind of the same pattern. But I thought, wow, this is just so awful. To shoot his grandmother. The police finally rushed in. I don't know how long they were sitting outside the school, and he was killed. All right, I just want to do a reading and try to shine some light on why would an 18-year-old do something like this. It's so drastic. It's so terrible. Anyway, I'm going to pull some cards. This is a really dark deck, really large cards too, just to get some answers to questions. My question is why? Why? His grandparents had taken him in. From all accounts, they were good people. Hopefully his grandmother will be all right. I haven't seen any updates about her situation. I just want to kind of get some energy on this. This is such a dark thing, and it's been happening a lot throughout schools. If we understand it better, maybe we can put a stop to it. Well, I think I'll do a Celtic cross. That might shed a little more light. Sometimes not. And these are really dark cards, actually dark cards, so I don't know. I'll have to try to put them where you can see them. lay these like this. I may have to move these around a little bit. This has been happening so much. It seems like if we could understand it more, maybe we could stop this from happening. I don't know. All right, the basis of the situation is the King of Cups. I think you can see that. The King of Cups is a very powerful man, very emotional. Cups are usually love, lots of feelings, a really positive person. Now these cards, I use these cards because they kind of show behind the scenes a little bit. Now this can also mean indulging in alcohol or drugs, anything like that. Very heightened emotions, lots of fire. Let's just see why that card came up. It's crossed by the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is someone who's reevaluating their life, reevaluating, it can be a business, it's money, but it's also earthly things. Looking at the past, looking at what he's done, looking at what maybe he can change. Pentacles can be money. He was only 18, I don't know if he had a job. Excuse me. But it also can be mental health. It can be physical health. All right, so we're going to need more cards than this. All right, above the situation, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, I'm reading these upright because they're so large and have so many images. I'm going to read the shadow definitions also. This is what goes around comes around. This is a card that says what you put in is what you get. It's got these little creatures with crossed swords and things like that. In this case, I almost feel like he felt he had to do this, that this was his lot in life, which is really strange because he only was 18. All right, beneath this, and possibly his subconscious hidden feelings, was the Nine of Wands. All right, the Nine of Wands is basically a wounded warrior. It shows a man protecting, well, a creature, protecting himself under attack, fighting back. So he felt, deep down he felt like he was being assaulted. He was being bullied, but everybody is bullied. Everybody that it seems like does social media nowadays or goes to school gets bullied in one manner or another. I don't know what the teachers are doing, how this could be happening. A lot of it is online. So this was about fighting back. He was fighting back against the injustices of the world, against, I want to say, the bad luck. He felt this was misfortune. He felt his life was misfortune. That's what I'm getting. All right, in the past, in the near past, we have the Judgment card. The Judgment card can be about starting a new life. It can be a second chance at something. It can be a redo. It can be an option to follow a new path, do the right thing in life, or do the wrong thing. He made a decision before he did this. He made a decision that he was going to fight back. He was under attack. He was the wounded warrior, he felt. And he made this decision. I don't know if he was waiting until he was 18 to purchase weapons. I think he did right on his birthday, I read, which is kind of a strange thing. And he felt like he was very unlucky. Like life had been very cruel to him. He didn't have good luck. He had misfortune. He was very, very, very depressed, negative. I'm getting it really strongly. And he chose, I don't know if you can see the details on these cards. There he is with his spear killing the demons. He really, really made a decision to fight back. He made a decision, and he saw himself also as this warrior. Now that's interesting because that wasn't really what he was like physically. These cards are all the same: fighting back, bad luck. Here he is, another powerful. I'm getting the feeling that he was going on social media a lot. I want to say the games. And I know a lot, it's controversial, these games. Some of them are very dark. He saw himself, before he did this, as an online person that looked like this, an avenging warrior, powerful. I wonder if there were drugs involved. I don't really see, I do see one cup card. And then in the future, this is what he wanted. He wanted the Ten of Cups. He wanted peace. He wanted the happy family. He wanted everything to be right. Now these cards are dark, but this is a dark situation. The Ten of Cups. This is having achieved everything he wanted. He wanted to do this. This was his plan. He knew there would be death. He knew there would be skulls. He knew that. He knew that. But to him, it was a victory. I also feel there's something online that was, and I don't want to put down games and stuff. I know there's a lot of dark games, but he was doing a lot of that. There's something else going on with him too. Well, let's see what else we have over here, and then we'll go over the cards again. His feelings at the time was the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords, this is a new idea, a new thought. This is the beginning of new things. I think he excuse me, I think he had thought about doing this for a long time, but I think he finally made up his mind. And I don't want to say it was sudden. Page of Swords can also mean messages. It can mean thoughts, ideas, communications, internet. I don't know what was going on with him and the internet. He was on social media. And he left warnings before he did this. He said what he was going to do to somebody that he was communicating with. I think this just shows that he decided to tell on the internet, that he was tell his connections. I don't know that they were friends, people online that he communicated with. He decided to go out publicly online and tell everyone what he was going to do, and that's what he did. He made up his mind. And he might even have been just waiting for his birthday so he could purchase weapons. But he made this statement the day that he went out and did this. All right, the feelings around him, the Eight of Swords. Now, his grandparents were very loving people from what I've read. I didn't read a lot about what's going on with him now, but they felt hopeless. This shows someone who, now this is an interesting card. This is someone who believes they are a prisoner. They believe they are stuck. I see him, this man, this person, they're holding their head and crying. I almost feel like there was something mentally wrong with him, I want to say. Now, I'm not looking for an excuse. I'm looking for a reason. And his grandparents, I don't think they thought they could do anything about it. Mental health care costs a lot of money. I mean, you don't just walk out and put yourself into the mental health system. I mean, And he wasn't even an adult at the time. He was at the time that he did this crime, this terrible crime, but this is somebody in anguish. This is somebody crying. And I almost feel like this could be his grandmother. I think they knew there was something going on with him, but they couldn't afford to help him, or there wasn't any help. This is anguish. This is real, real pain and sadness. I think it is both of them, actually. The hopes and fears, the King of Pentacles, there he is. This is who he wanted to become. He wanted to become a king. And in his own mind, along with these other cards, by defending himself, the wounded warrior fighting back, by making a choice, he felt he would become a king of pentacles. Now this is also about, I see the pentacle up here, a demonology type card. I don't know if he was into black magic. I kind of getting that vibe. There was something going on with his mind. I wonder if he had a condition. I almost want to say fetal alcohol syndrome, and I have no idea why I want to say that. I know nothing about his parents or his situation as a baby or a child. But this shows somebody holding their head in agony, finding a way to become the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles could be Satan. That could be something like that. I think he was dabbling in a lot of things. The outcome for him was the Lovers. This is someone making a choice. The Lovers card is making a choice. It goes quite along with Judgment. Maybe he thought he would die and go down in glory and be a hero in his own mind, have the woman of his dreams, make the right choice. He chose the dark path, and I see a lot of demons in this card, but the outcome was that he did this. He made this choice. Now I'm getting, why would I get fetal alcohol syndrome or something like that? Just because of this card, I think this card is really, really drawing my attention. This is someone who has mental problems, but I almost feel like it's chemical mental problems. I don't know if he did drugs. He was a prisoner in his own mind. That's what I'm getting. And this could be his grandmother too. She didn't know what to do with him. I think she tried to stop him. I think she was a heroine. She was she was home at the time. I don't know where his grandfather was. And I believe that she tried to stop him. Obviously, she would have seen him with his weapons heading out, and he shot her in the face. That's just such an emotional, horrible thing to do to somebody. It just shows you how far gone he was. And this is not an excuse. He was totally out of it. A lot of it was online, a lot of it was choices he made, and I think a lot of it was physical. I feel like there was something wrong with his mind. And I don't mean that he was, I don't get crazy so much, though he was terribly influenced by dark things. I almost feel like he had an actual physical situation. Gosh, it's so sad. It's so dark. He picked this. He felt like he was terribly unlucky. Life had given him a terrible, terrible turn at the wheel. It's not an excuse for murdering people. I think I'll just get a little bit more clarification on like to get some clarification on the Eight of Swords. Was he having physical problems? And of course, if he was doing drugs, and I don't know that he was, or alcohol, that would affect his thinking. But I almost feel like it's a physical thing, along with other things. I think he might have been doing some kind of drugs or drinking or something. But I don't really see a lot of that. Let's just pull a few more cards. Clarification on the Eight of Swords. Alright, I've got 2 cards. There's the Justice card. Alright. There he is again. He's making things right. This is legal too. This could be law. Were his grandparents his legal guardians, or was there some problem with that? Mainly I just see justice. He was righting wrongs. I mean, there he is, the warrior again. And then the Empress. There's the Empress. She's got everything. She's riding a dragon. All the skulls and all that. The Empress is usually a woman with everything, abundance. I don't know who this woman would have been. The fact that he shot his grandmother, she was trying to stop him. She was trying to stop him. The Empress is abundance. It also could be a powerful woman. I wonder if there was somebody else in his life besides his grandparents. I don't know where his parents were, his mother, Child Protective Services. I don't know if they had any problems with him. There was something there. I'm getting that he had an actual mental condition brought on by something outside of his control. And also I get almost delusional about his life, wanting revenge. But there was something wrong with him. A few more cards. And this is not an excuse. It's just why? Why would somebody do something so drastic? I mean, a lot of people are bullied. I mean, if you go to school, you're bullied and you feel like you don't belong. Most people, not everybody, obviously. There was something else going on with him. All right, let's pull another card. Let's get some clarification on this again. The Ace of Pentacles. That's the beginning of something. With Pentacles again, I think he might have been walking on the dark side. And there's the Devil. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Yeah, there's a lot of things going here. Obviously his parents, I don't know the situation with them, why he wasn't living with his parents, why he was living with his grandparents. This happens a lot. Parents sometimes, I don't know if he had parents or just a mother, they just walk away. They have problems. They have drug problems. I'm kind of getting that, I want to say he inherited something from his mother. Some kind of condition. She may have done drugs when she was pregnant with him. She may have done alcohol. Where she was, I don't know at the time. There was that, and then over his growing years, he really fell on the dark side. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the beginning of something tangible, physical, fighting back, and we have the Devil. This is a dark deck, but the Devil, I mean, there's a lot of cards in the deck, and the Devil's coming up, Pentacles are coming up. Okay, I'm not so sure I'm going to get any more. It's very sad. It's too bad that he couldn't have been helped when he was younger. It's too bad all of these people with problems can't be helped. But our country doesn't seem to do a lot about mental problems. Child Protective Services are just overflowing with kids that need help. I believe he had something he inherited from his mother. And I believe he was influenced by online games, things like that. He watched a lot of those, and he was also into the dark arts. It's a combination that resulted in this major disaster. It's not an excuse. I mean, these poor, innocent 19 children and 2 adults that he murdered. It just boggles the mind. This goes on and on and on. It's going on and on and on. Our country needs to do something about this. Anyway, I feel so sorry for the children that were murdered, the adults, and his grandparents. I mean, this is a no-win situation for everyone. All right, I'm going to close the circle. It's kind of a sad reading, but I'd like to find answers, you know? I like to find answers. Anyway, let me know what you think. Leave some kind comments. Please subscribe. And also I need to add, this was all alleged. I don't know Salvador, I don't know his family. It was just my reading of the cards for entertainment purposes, so you have to take it that way. Subscribe, like, share, and please watch Afterlife Adventures with Amanda. And we'll see you next time.